Thanks for checking out another clip of the Cashflow Contractor. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. Click subscribe wherever you get your podcast.
So I want to spend a little bit of time on this. There's several things that are coming to mind. So I'm thinking of a handful of people that I've worked with before that are kind of living in panic mode nonstop. And how do you get someone to basically the analogy that I think of is literally their head is down. They're focused, they're panicked about this thing right here, and they're not seeing what's ahead.
Yeah.
They don't see that they're going to be losing so much money on the upcoming projects, that they're going to lose this employee, like you just mentioned, because they're tired of being there and not, getting the short end of the stick. Um, they don't foresee what's coming up, but they also don't even have the capacity to sit up and say, hey, let's turn this around. Let's stop this cycle of, this vicious cycle that we're in. What are some of the ways that you can get out of panic mode? Like,
Yes.
we're going to talk about like the critical path and how to do better planning and stuff like that. But what do you see as like the first thing in just getting out of that panic mode?
Well, to your point, you got to look up, right? You're in the weeds and you got to look up. But
Yeah.
to me, it's a little bit what we talked about. If you have 6 projects, one of which is in the panic mode, you're devoting all of your time to that project. So your other 5 are slipping later and later. So by the time you finally are able to raise your head and get number 6 done, number 5 and number 4 in the panic mode. And so you're
they're in the
this
queue.
constant,
They're just in a panic queue.
yeah, you're just constantly rolling from one panic phase or on one project to the next project to the next project. So what has to happen to break that cycle is somebody above our pay grade, somebody in senior management that say, look, enough is enough. I want you to take time, take 3 days, 2 days, whatever that is, take 2 or 3 days to plan the next project. Because what we know is that 90% of the tasks, once it's planned, roughly 90%, you can start to move them until later. So we know what has to be done, what's really important to get done in week 1, week 2, and week 3, so that we're not putting all the pressure on those people on the back end. And so this project won't end up in the panic mode. The other 5 might, but this one won't. And by delivering this one on time, we'll have time to plan 2 correctly and then 3 correctly. Right. And while I can't promise that you'll never end up in the panic mode, because as you put it, stuff happens. But it'll be the exception to the rule instead of what it is now, which is almost every project ends up in panic.
Yeah. Martin, I'm curious from your perspective. I know that for a lot of the listeners, they are in the project and they are that senior management that Clint was mentioning. They're the ones that actually are responsible. At what point do you just say, hey, that project number 6 that's, down the line, we're going to go ahead and cancel that now, because we're just not going to be able to fulfill it in a better phase than the panic mode. What are your opinions on that, Martin?
Well, there are 2 things, but one thing I'm thinking about this, I hope this doesn't take us off, but a project would be, for our listeners, a project is to build a cash reserve. It's exactly these same steps. And I'm just thinking about the people I've got. No, we're going to take this time and we're going to plan to put this money away, and your suppliers are going to call you mad because you can't pay the whole bill, but you're only going to pay half. Anyway, we work our way out. I'm doing that with a couple of guys right now. And that made me think of it. But
so you're saying get your cash reserves up is the project?
Yeah, the project is, for our company, we're going to build a cash reserve. That's not at all, I'm taking this as straight, but that's a project. That is a project for a lot of my clients. Do this. And it's exactly the same steps. You have to stop and put out $10 away or that. Anyway, we won't go all through that. But I wrote an article on it, Khalil, and it's just what Clint was saying. I said, okay, your wife's going to divorce you. You're going to go broke. You've got the flu. There's no point in getting up in the morning, and your best people are all going to leave you. Stipulated. But what I'm going to do today is work on this one project and get something done, not half of something on 5 things. I'm going to get something done. And then when my wife doesn't divorce me, I don't go broke, I get over the flu, then I have something accomplished. And it's that area, panic probably isn't even a strong enough word. How bad you feel. It's terrible and there's no point in living. Well, yeah, there is, but do something that advances the cause. And picking out which one it is. So if that's answered your question,
Yeah, I think that's true. Like you do have to just pick one thing. I think at a certain level, like I think of certain clients and I'm like, man, you shouldn't have taken on, you should have, rather than adding 2 more crews to be able to get the job done, you should have said, nope, hold on. We're putting a halt on this so that we can focus on doing the project the right way. Because if we just throw more money and more people at the problem, it doesn't mean it's going to change, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, the reason things are going so poorly is because we're taking on more projects to fund this one. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And and so, and so we just need to like, hey, just cut it down a little bit to, hey, we're going to focus on this and we're going to say no to these things. We have to let these people go because we made mistakes. That's our fault, but we can't carry you. Like I just think about that. Like there's, we've been referencing these 5 projects and we have this 6th one starting. The reality is for a lot of these people, all 5 of these projects are due right now. And this 6th one is due next week. It's not like we're talking years. We're talking like,
Yeah.
and it's, hey, we need to actually cut some of these out because it's just not going to work. So anyways, that's a thought that I had. I don't know if it's resonating with either of you.
Yeah.
It does with me, and Clint's the real expert here, so I'll defer. But one thing I tell people is you're going to have to work more before you work less. I mean, that works out that way. But the point of working more is that you can see that what I'm doing is going to lead to a resolution. I'm going to put in systems where we're going to have 3 days for a plan, the things that you'll talk about. So yeah, I've got all this stuff because that's where I am right now, but there's a way out. And that's my goal. So I'd be aware of it, but it's not futile. It's not an endless morass slogging through the swamp. There's a way out. And that's what Clint's going to tell us about.
I think, Martin, you're right. Because I think if I envision it, I'm a visual person. So I see, there's a huge wave and we're swimming as hard as we can and we can't seem to get it. If you just swim a little bit harder to get over the top, then life is a lot easier, right? It's getting over that,
right,
that top, which is the difficult part. And I do think, Khalil, you're also right, look, I got a small business, so I understand this completely. The attitude is almost always, we'll take the work and we'll figure out how to do it. But your reputation is what a lot of you have. Like certainly for us, our reputation is everything. And if I fail on a project, which thankfully hasn't happened, but if I were to fail on a project, that's way more costly to me than I'm ever willing to take on. So I won't take on a project if I don't think we can be successful. And that is hard as a small business owner to say, that is a lot of money, but I'm going to turn it down because I don't think I can deliver. And I would rather have you not like me because I didn't take the work than not like me because I didn't deliver. And it's hard, so I would say you're right. We probably need to take less. And the beauty, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit, but the beauty of having the plans is you can do more with the same amount of people if you know exactly when you need the different crews, and you can do what's called resource leveling. And you can say, look, I really don't need 3 crews. I just need 2 crews, but I need to space them out better than I'm currently doing. Cause now I'm in this panic mode of, oh crap, but this is due next week. Let me get everybody over here. And now everybody goes over there. But instead, if you know that week 1 we're over here, week 2 we're over there, week 3 we're over there, you can use the same amount of people and get more work done.
Yeah. I think we'll jump into the plan. I think my thing is for some people, the answer is not necessarily just better planning, but in order to actually achieve better planning and make it a reality, they need to prune a little bit to be able to focus on what's actually important and not be distracted by the opportunity that's there, but in reality, you're not built for it right now. And that's okay. Let's prune and let's focus on what we can do.
Thanks for checking out a clip from the Cashflow Contractor. We have full episodes where we go deep on topics that help you grow a construction business that runs without you so you can have less stress, more time, more money. Now, we've got other videos, other clips, but if you want to check out the full episode for this clip, you can click wherever our editor put it. It might be here, might be there. Might be over my face, I don't know. But thank you for checking us out. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. So subscribe or check out a full episode wherever you get podcasts.